So at this point, I think everybody knows that this is indeed Cooper. And while Cooper will most likely win this year's National Basketball Player of the Year award, the question on hand is really just how good will Cooper actually be at the next level. Now, for the season, Cooper is actually averaging 19 points a game, 7.5 boards, 4.3 assists on a field goal shooting percentage of, wait for it, 48.7, which puts him at the 124th best field goal shooting percentage in the NCAA this season. Now, one of the big complaints about Cooper is he really isn't great at anything. Now, I'm actually here to tell you that the stats don't tell the whole story and certainly do not necessarily translate to how good a player will actually be in the association. Will he be an all-star? Will he be considered a great basketball player? You have to actually remember that Cooper actually just turned 18 in December. That's right, Cooper is only 18 years old. So what exactly is the ceiling for Cooper at the next level? We are going to answer that question and a whole lot more on this episode of the NBA Rundown. Thanks so much for tuning in. New to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe and, of course, like this video. As always, I am Dave DeBaugh coming to you from the heart of the Silicon Valley. Now, when we take a look at what Cooper did at the start of the season and compare that to what Cooper actually did towards the end of the season, quite frankly, there is no comparison. Now, he, in his first 11 games, actually averaged 16.6 points per game and had a three-point shooting percentage of just 24.4%. Now, in his last 21 games, Cooper's actually averaged over 21 points per game. His three-point shooting percentage, wait for it, skyrocketed all the way to 45.2%. So what does this actually mean for Cooper at the next level? Now, I'm here to tell you that we know that Cooper is an excellent defender. He's excellent at blocking shots. He's even good at occasionally getting some steals. And we know that the game that if you try to compare the NCAA version of basketball with the NBA, stats tend to actually go up when you're talking about how well a player will actually translate to the association. And while there have been a series of complaints that Cooper isn't necessarily great at anything, I'm actually here to tell you that that is false for a wide variety of reasons. Now, we could start by talking about his defensive prowess and just how good he's actually been in the NCAA this season on the defensive side of the ball. I'll just leave you with one stat. He's currently ranked second in the entire NCAA for overall defensive performance. Now, in terms of why I actually believe he will actually translate into a great basketball player in the NBA, assuming he doesn't have any major injuries or assuming he doesn't go on Zion's eating habits or Zion's diet, which actually just consisted of eating as much as you possibly could so you could turn into the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I don't think that's actually going to happen with Cooper. Cooper, as we know a lot about him at this point, he appears to have the work ethic of a lot of the other great basketball players before him. Now, remember, work ethic at the ripe old age of just 18 might not mean as much to you and me as it does actually to Cooper as he looks to actually become a great player in the NBA. But that work ethic is certainly what set LeBron James apart. It's certainly what set Kobe Bryant apart. It is also what has made Jason Tatum a great basketball player that people refuse to give him his credit for. We'll cover that another day. But in terms of Cooper's ability to actually translate into a great player in the NBA with a 6'9" frame and his ability to actually constantly run up and down on the basketball court, it is safe to say that not only will Cooper, as he proved in the NCAA this season, learn how to become a better offensive weapon, he is just naturally a great defender of the ball. And that is something that the NBA is certainly lacking a lot of. You can basically count on both of your hands the top 10 basketball players on the defensive side of the court and then stop there. Cooper will most certainly turn into one of the top 10 defensive players in the NBA as a rookie. That certainly is going to set him apart. But the thing that actually really sets Cooper apart from a lot of other players who have his body and also have his frame and also play with a lot of heart the way Cooper plays with is his ability to actually identify what's actually happening on the court on the fly. It's actually one of the things that makes LeBron James such a great basketball player. It's also what made Kobe a great basketball player. It's also what made Michael Jordan a great basketball player. The great basketball players, even a Jokic, the great basketball players always have one thing in common. And that one thing they have in common are they great at getting rebounds? Are they great at blocking shots? Are they great at shooting threes? The one thing that all those great players have in common is they have the uncanny ability to actually identify what the opposing defense, I should say, is actually going to try to do to stop them. Those players that I mentioned are all great simply because they were able to figure out what the opposing defenses were doing and then circumvent it. We are seeing that at scale now with Cooper Flagg in the NCAA tournament. Now, I'm not sure what's going to happen in the Great Eight tonight with Cooper, if Duke will find its way into the Final Four or not. But what we saw out of Cooper the other night was a prime example of Cooper's ability to understand what was being thrown at him, then to actually make the necessary adjustments to help his team ultimately win the game. All right, love to know your thoughts and opinions on Cooper. I think he's actually going to be a great player in the NBA. I think he's sky's the limit for this guy if he can stay healthy and not have any major injuries. Love to know your thoughts and opinions. Please go ahead and drop them in. For the NBA Rundown, I'm Dave DeBaugh, wishing you all a tremendous rest of your sports viewing day.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.